Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are attempting to celebrate 50 years of Star Trek by watching all 79 episodes of the original series, one a day in airdate order. We are now on episode 4.
Episode 4, The Naked Time.
Oh my.
And we're going to start that right now.
Start date.
Yeah, interesting. Usually start off with a start date, but not this time.
Someone got lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, some shit went down.
Yep.
And that guy got frozen with a box of cereal in his hand.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice cold breakfast. I love these. These decontamination, radiation suits.
Now, do you think that they were shower curtains? Or...
They were shower curtains.
Okay, they were.
Yeah, they were actually made from shower curtains.
Oh, that's awesome.
I would take them a little more seriously if
Without
they were airtight.
Oh yeah, but the fact that it's open and that
right.
was nothing to keep out. You know. Oh, but the freaky dead person that's supposed to be a dead person, but it's really a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying. I'm never not okay with this mannequin.
You're never not okay? You're never okay with
I'm
it.
never okay. Double negative doesn't work?
No.
Oh.
Now, interesting thing about the little radiation meter that they're using is that was actually a radiation meter that they had back in the 60s.
So, I mean, if you're watching this in the 60s and you see equipment and the furniture and stuff that is you, do you just go sure, yeah, it makes sense, or not think about it? Is the screen too small to notice?
I don't know. I don't think people in the 60s were familiar with what radiation meters looked like, but for whatever reason they chose to use one.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, they just gave it a slightly
really
different
hard
paint
to
job.
find now.
Yeah, now they're harder to find.
Boo. What is on his sleeve? I also love this. You're in an area that's clearly something crazy has happened, and you have an itch on your nose, and then what do? Take your gloves off.
Yep. There's that Starfleet training. I'll just take
and
my
put it
glove
on
off,
that dead guy!
toss it there on that dead
that guy is
dude.
frozen dead, and he doesn't
Throw it on that corpse's head.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I have never noticed that clearly there's a layer of tulle or something over that entire suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
It's
creepy.
red and then tulle with that metallic circle pattern on it.
Oh,
that's freaky. The sideways gravity.
of blood that just peed on him or a little or something.
Yeah.
That's it. Shove it
Just
on
rub
your...
it all over your face
just snip it in.
in that non-airtight suit.
I'm really usually sad when,
When crewman dies.
Yeah, but this guy, I'm really not.
That dude totally deserves
he
it.
really asked for it. And he kind of sucks. He's kind of a dick because he causes this entire problem.
Yeah.
Just him.
Mm-hmm.
Too distracted by the gross lack of protocol with the other dude
Yeah.
to notice that something serious is going on. So I love, to me, what is a 3D depth effect of the stars in the opening. I never get over it.
Yeah. Sulu, he's star of the show. Other guys just along for the ride.
I really wish that McFarlane would write more lyrics to that.
Yeah.
Because I desperately want more to sing.
About Sulu.
About Sulu, yes.
Running the Enterprise. Yeah. The Naked Time. I wonder if they considered that a risque title back then.
It doesn't disappoint, you know.
Yeah. So now we're into the 4th episode that aired. I think it was the 7th episode that was produced.
Mm-hmm.
And the look of the costumes and the crew and everything is settled in
Yeah.
to what we're familiar with, which is nice.
And obviously characters and everything by this point.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's kind of...
Yep, they've got extra
Flesh out the
decontamination, which we rarely see.
Yeah.
Didn't do any good.
Yeah. Didn't do jack. Tourmaline can suck it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like McCoy catches anything either.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Spock's there in a black t-shirt.
What do they call those?
Tumblr told me it's the black shirt of sexiness.
The black shirt of sexiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is accurate. And none of them are seen nearly enough.
No, they are pretty tight.
Yeah.
I am delighted.
Really? Vulcan delighted?
Yeah.
You know, I love McCoy, but sometimes he's kind of a dick. I want to say mean. He's just a dick. Like I know
he's a dick,
he's rough,
or he's a straight up racist. Is that what you mean when you say dick? That McCoy's a straight up racist?
Someone like pointy eared and hobgoblin and green blooded.
Uh-huh.
It all seems like I know they're friends, but
are they friends? It's only the
Yes!
4th episode. Isn't this like the first episode where we actually see McCoy on the ship? He wasn't on the previous episode.
That's the only one he wasn't on so far.
Okay, but here he's. You're right. I'm getting confused there, but he hasn't been on the ship that long.
We don't know.
Yeah, because we had the episode with Gary Mitchell, and there was like
But
a completely different doctor.
Because we all know that was out of order.
Yeah, we know.
I love the sound effects of like the rain shaker of like bad stuff happening.
I like to imagine that the virus is actually a tiny, tiny little rattlesnake.
So might assume that like Spock was filming that, or
no, this is
so somehow magically always just what
surveillance cameras
capable.
Combined with computer recreation of the
Are you
set
able to do this?
based on scans and data.
If the image wasn't so ugly, it'd be laughable.
Yeah. Some form of space madness, because there is space madness, but there are many different forms of it.
Makes sense. Now this is, I mean, at the 4th episode, the first we're getting, not necessarily of Scotty, but like, he's actually saying dialogue, and,
right.
and he's part of, you know, the command team.
Rather than just like standing there in the background.
Yeah. These are your top 4 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
Yeah, you guys are letting me down.
I love Scotty.
That zipper on Kirk's outfit is really catching the light. You can see it from here.
I know, babe. Oh, it's gonna blow. Oh, look, rec room.
Yep, little space checkers.
I was not gonna lie, I really want to go to some place where I can just put in a floppy disk and get food.
Just like a little USB or a...
Yeah, it also comes like stupid fast.
Yeah. And piping hot. You'll notice there was like steam as soon as that thing opened.
Oh. This guy's terrible.
Yeah, he is. Because like his first instinct is to rub it on himself.
Yeah.
Not on the
and
napkin
then, like,
that's sitting right
friends.
there. But like on himself.
Oh,
Riley. Hello,
Kevin
Riley.
See? They keep it consistent that Sulu
That's
is
true.
into plans.
That's true. I like that.
Like, it's very thoughtful, like, carry-through of, like, it's not just episodic and there's no growth and development to the characters.
That's
like,
true.
Things carry over.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, don't poke them!
And I like that they're sort of laying the groundwork for his interest.
Mm-hmm.
See, he says, you don't rank me, and you don't have pointed ears. But look at his rank braid.
Yeah, but...
He's a lieutenant junior grade. Sulu does rank him. Sulu's a full lieutenant.
That would obviously be a mistake in maybe costumes or dialogue.
Maybe it's a mistake.
Tourmalin's just a dick,
yeah,
because, I mean, he's terrible at everything he does.
Yeah.
And he's kind of crazy. Seriously, though, like, Kevin Riley is, like, the one character I'm really sad didn't somehow get... like, looped into the general cast you always see.
Yeah, and make more appearances.
I mean, because he shows up before Chekhov.
Oh, yeah.
Like, many episodes before Chekhov. And
Chekhov doesn't even show up till the second season.
But Riley didn't make it into the normal
Spoiler.
rotation, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I know. He's a very entertaining character.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a not very sharp knife.
I've got a Danish mid-century modern fancy cookware here.
Basically, airline silverware.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's kind of existential, you know. So we don't belong here in space, traveling these planets.
That's true.
Some dark thoughts.
Oh no, he's gonna spread himself.
Oh. Aww, poor Riley. These
like, wow, look at that.
They are useless. Like, they're not even like alarmed or anything.
No.
So they're kind of terrible actors because they're just like, oh look, people are fighting.
they're like, is this a flash mob?
Maybe we should get up and do things.
Ah.
Oh, you made me drop my Kool-Aid all over me.
You made me bleed red blood on myself.
Oh no, it's Riley who does the. I love his hand motions though.
Yeah.
I can't wipe it off. He's adorable.
Mm-hmm. I don't see anything, but I feel it.
And also the little snake shaker.
Yeah. Little rattlesnake. It's like, do they hear that in their heads?
So, like, are all the captain's logs supposed to be directly after, like, events have happened? Or at times, like, at the end of each day? So it's, like, in the middle of events?
I believe they're supposed to take place immediately after a commercial break.
It's fine. I hate you so much. But he said, like, but unknown to us, a disease is, like, running through the ship.
Yeah, I know.
That implies that he recorded it afterwards.
Right.
To be all...
To sort of narrate. Ooh, I like this shot of
the
his
pants. Because you saw the sparkle circle?
Yeah, you get that little sparkling thread that's woven through their fabric.
Any idea that they were sparkle pants?
Yeah.
In space, everything was sparkly. Oh. Really? Because... he was super unprofessional before he got...
Right, but
dosed.
he wasn't, like, despondent and suicidal. He was merely incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
And not too clear on what the meaning of the rank braids is. And you got
Now
Christine Chapel.
This is the first appearance of Christine Chapel, air date-wise.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, and the salt shakers. 2 of those are salt shakers, and the rest are all machined.
Yeah. The salt shakers are the taller ones.
Mm-hmm. There's one, like, orangish one and one green one.
Yeah. Like, the really pointy ones are just custom milled.
Because I think the background on that is that, like, a bunch of salt shakers and stuff were shown to Roddenberry, and I think they didn't look futuristic enough, or looked too much like salt shakers, but he kept 2 to add into McCoy's little medical set, and then they just, like, you know, machine metaled the rest.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a blowtorch.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say the same thing. I like how that's like this little self-contained breathing mask thing.
Yeah, things that we don't even, have to that degree.
Well, it's not the 23rd century. Yeah, we've got 200 years. Give us a little time, all right? Poor Kirk, he's got to fly the freaking ship himself. These incompetents are all around him. They're all starting to develop the
Riley
sweats.
didn't test well in audiences, and that's why we got Chekhov later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, we've got, a little rapport happening between him and Sulu.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's so sweaty.
Yeah. It's a serious situation.
It's like, you can turn on more lights. Look how many shadows there are in this room. Oh, no, he's flatlining. Oh, Tremolin.
Don't really feel bad that he died.
One more death, which I will note.
I feel bad that McCoy lost somebody. But...
See, she's all sweaty. You don't even see women sweaty that often. But one more death I will note, who is not a red shirt.
Correct. That hasn't happened at all yet.
Yeah, we haven't had any red shirt deaths yet. And there have been deaths. There have been a lot of deaths so far. Yeah.
Those red shirts will catch up. Just give them time.
No, they'll catch up like ketchup.
Oh.
What? That's a saying.
From who? You.
From me.
God, her dress is short. And amazing. I remember reading a quote from Nichelle Nichols where to her it was like, well, like, why can't you wear like what you want, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the 23rd century, they're past judging people on what they wear.
Right.
And so, she had absolutely no problem with wearing something that short, where someone, could reasonably be like, oh, don't you think it's sexist to be in something so short? Or don't you feel like, degraded or not taken as seriously? And she was like, what no, like,
if I have the choice between wearing pants and wearing this thing, and I feel like wearing this thing, then why can't I?
Like, I should be able to wear whatever I want and be taken professionally. And
well, because in modern, 20th, 21st century terms, you'd get people, shaming you for wearing something like that, and in the 23rd century, they don't worry about that.
Now, is Bones now affected? He had gloves on, but is he... I can't remember if he gets affected or not by now.
Well, I know when he was treating him earlier, he had gloves on. Both of them had gloves on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I don't recall if he touched him.
We just know that it's Riley and Sulu who are doomed right now.
Right.
I'm just poking buttons. That guy was called Rand?
That guy's name is Rand. But he's not a yeoman.
He's just like, you...
Have no fear, O'Reilly's here.
Aww. But it's like, really? Like, you couldn't... Did you forget that one of your semi-main characters is named Rand, and you couldn't come up with another name to call someone else?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Oh, I love this guy.
He has a lot of personality.
Mm-hmm.
And as we find out later, he has a...
the cowboy stance.
The little swagger.
Yeah.
And as we find out later, he has a backstory, even, that kind of merges with Kirk's.
Yes. Yeah, they spent, a lot of time on the O'Reilly character, and I'm just really sad it just dropped off.
Yeah.
The same with Yeoman Rand.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had things going on, and both,
I agree.
The worst part is that as much as I love Kevin Riley, I've never once bothered to remember this actor's name.
Aww.
I couldn't tell you what it was, but I love him a lot.
Aww.
Oh, he just passed his space STDs.
His space TDs.
Yeah, space TDs.
Really? Because I thought Joe's mistake was taking off his protective gear in a contaminated setting. Yeah,
he just thriller out of the. He just thrillered out of the sick bay.
He did. He thrillered before Michael Jackson did.
I'm gonna believe that Michael Jackson saw that and was inspired.
Yes.
And now exactly why it's called The Naked Time.
Mm-hmm. No black shirt of sexiness for him.
Yeah, so this episode confirms his interest in botany and establishes his interest in fencing.
Yeah. He just noticed that it's an actual sharp sword.
What if he was like, in movies a lot of times you can oil people up. I wonder if he was just glistening from just normal sweat and not like, let's oil you up.
He could have been. I understand that he was kind of going crazy on set. Sort of really getting into the role.
A lot of fun.
Now, as I understand it, and I could be a little off because I wasn't there, but as I understand it, they originally wrote for him to be going crazy with a sword, and someone wanted him to be menacing people with the samurai sword because he's Japanese,
like,
and he was like, "Yeah, why do I have to have a samurai sword? Why couldn't I be into musketeers and stuff like that?" So I think it's great that they went along with that.
Yeah.
And established that side of his
they
character.
Been like, no, we want stereotypical Japanese guy with a, Japanese sword.
Right.
There's just so many different things that each actor brought to their roles where they pushed to have, certain things, certain ways.
Yeah. We definitely know that...
Spock would not be Spock, if not for Leonard.
Yeah, Nimoy really pushed to develop aspects of his character.
Yeah. And there's like the Leonard book that Shatner wrote, and in it he mentions, I think it was for the fifth movie, where he was bringing up all these ideas he had, and Nimoy just kept going like, no, Spock wouldn't do that. No, Spock wouldn't do that. No, Spock wouldn't do that. And Shatner was being frustrated because he was like, what do you mean your character wouldn't do that? Like, your character does it because I wrote that he does it. And like, because they come from two different acting backgrounds. Right. And so...
Nimoy, I love this. I love this part.
Oh, yes. The best line ever.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to know if that went over people's heads in the 60s.
Yeah. Probably because it went by so fast.
God, he's so into it.
I know. Oh, here we go. I'll protect you, fair maiden. And then Uhura says, sorry, neither. Like, because I'm neither fair.
And she's not a virgin.
And nor am I a maiden.
Best part is that she's like, I'm not a virgin.
Right.
I am so in love with that.
Yeah, I wonder if like it got noticed at all by, standards and practices of the day, or if, it just went by too quickly. But it's a great little aside to throw in there. Because she owns it,
Yeah. We certainly were not, 66? Where were we on the whole free love thing? Or a woman having sex out of wedlock?
Well, there was obviously, like, the sexual revolution going on, but I don't think it hit its peak until 69.
Tell me something I don't know.
At least Riley, as a
crazy
unappointed captain, is not a selfish man because he demands ice cream for the entire crew.
Yes, and he serenades them on
That's
either
right.
side.
One more time.
So, one by one, people are going crazy, doing crazy stuff, and they're hurtling towards the planet that is about to, like, basically explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything sucks.
I love that forced perspective engine room, too. This song needs to be part of a Star Trek karaoke.
Mm-hmm. There's a fair amount of times we see Spock having to do captain duties.
Yeah. Oh, no ice cream for Uhura.
There's a bowling alley on the Enterprise.
Yeah, see, we learned something else about
There's
the
space
Enterprise.
bowling?
There's bowling.
I just like the 23rd century is still bowling. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. Okay, that was an amazing fall, and some of
Yeah.
these people were committed to hurting themselves.
Yeah, they really
It's
threw
like
themselves.
two on the bottom and just went out.
Really threw themselves. It's like, how terrible is security on this ship that one
Guy could
one
take over.
drunk dude could wander into engineering and take over the entire ship.
I like Riley's preferences on women.
And use restraint in putting on your
Yeah,
makeup.
I want your hair down and ease up on the makeup.
Just the way Kirk delivers that line. You know, you get that exasperation and
I am
frustration.
so done.
Yeah.
I mean, of problems to occur, like one of your crewmen going crazy singing over the intercom isn't necessarily dire, except it's happening in a dire situation.
Right. Where they're going to crash
also,
and die.
Let's just put refrigerator magnets all over the place.
Yeah, you know, he's placing these space Legos
Mm-hmm.
onto the components in order to fix things.
Yeah.
You don't understand engineering, babe. You just
I
don't.
really don't. So we know that Uhura should be being affected because Sulu grabbed her.
Right. But did he just grab her, like, did he make skin contact? Maybe he just grabbed her on the clothing.
Poor Sky is having to run around everywhere.
Yeah. Like, doesn't he have an engineering team?
No.
I like that he's got, like, this extremely primitive
Yeah.
mid-century slide rule calculator thing.
So they're actually changing the pictures up above every so often. I don't think I've ever paid attention to that. Because I know they were supposed to be, like, screens, like, of what was actually around them or something important.
And this is interesting, where he's using the phaser as a cutting tool.
On, like, the lowest setting.
Yeah, he's using it as a cutting tool rather than as a weapon. And there's no phaser beam coming out of it. Like, I don't know if that was an oversight, or if they just ran out of money, so they didn't do the visual
that
effect.
sigh of, I hate humans.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work at all. There's a lot of Broadway guys on this. Like, their inner self is that they just want to sing.
Yeah.
I love Sky. Oh.
No safety.
I mean, he's got that one helper. The one.
Yeah, he's just standing there doing nothing.
He's holding something important. A radio, maybe.
He's not holding a phaser to help cut through the rest of those lines. No one's answering their Skype. Oh, she's affected.
You can tell in her demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like we've barely seen any of her, you can tell something's up.
Right.
Now we've got the nice sparkly beds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we put away those like standard gray sheets. Rattlesnake virus.
Oh. It's time to take her hair down. All guys have that much underarm hair?
I'm sure it varies per person.
You're young. Do it.
Is she qualified to take the helmet?
Doesn't matter. He's running out of people, clearly. I love that exchange.
Yeah.
Between Uhura and Kirk. Because he is... I mean, everyone's losing it. And even the ones that are still unaffected. And... he yells at her and she yells back, you know, because she's you know, reasonably panicking.
Yeah, they're both at the end of their rope.
And then they both pull back.
Mm-hmm.
And apologize.
It's a very human exchange.
Yeah.
But wait.
Don't touch his hands! But she knows nothing about Vulcans. What does that even imply? Is that implying that she thinks that Vulcan men hurt Vulcan women?
Yeah, that's a really weird
line. Like, the context or implications of that line are like, I've heard things about what goes on between Vulcan men and women, and you'd never hurt me because you're part human. Like, what are you implying?
Yes, because no human man has ever hurt a human woman before. Especially not romantically. Now, we get her being in love with him later, also.
But here it comes out of nowhere to me. Or I guess maybe establishes these obviously feelings she's keeps deep down. Because this thing is clearly bringing out, like, your innermost...
Right. But it's gonna...
what you're bearing. It's
gonna be weird to reconcile this with the What Little Girls Are Made Of episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, I love...
Ooh, get your virus hands off of me!
Oh, like, Vulcans don't do the touchy-touchy, and she's just all over him. She's basically assaulting him. Like, I love Nurse Chapel, but I've never been into the whole, like...
Chapel X Spock?
Her, like, basically obsession with Spock.
Really? Look how hot he is. What woman would not be?
Not saying she shouldn't be, but I just, like, it was always, like, a lot.
you don't think it was. You don't think that they sold it, or you don't think they established the foundation
And
for it.
she didn't need to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like this lovesick 12-year-old girl kind of mojo going on.
Yeah.
Oh. Also, she must have gotten him pretty hard, or he'd already affected, because he gets affected instantly.
Yeah.
Everyone else kind of takes a while, but
yeah.
He
didn't really spend any time like rubbing his palms at all.
Immediately affected.
He's like boom.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that she's like rubbing his face or anything, or if it's just because he's Vulcan.
Oh! So I don't like her that she made him feel feelings and he doesn't want to feel. She can sign it. You know, we don't need the whatever visors or anything for.
No, we don't have time for visors.
Shooting at our faces.
There's no time for visors.
In they go.
Oh,
he's just so sad.
He knows he's done for.
He's like, he doesn't even try to fight. He's just like a little kid caught. He's like, oh.
Why would he fight? That's not the kind of drunk he is.
You know, I would have thought Spock would have like held out longer, being half Vulcan, but he just loses it.
Yeah, he loses it instantly.
Oh. Once we ruin the moment, one of my favorite photos is the shot of him crying here where it says like sobbing mathematically. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
I think it perfectly describes the situation.
The struggle is real for Spock. Here's the mathematically part.
Yeah, that's the sobbing mathematically. Oh. Yeah, screw you and your chapel. You made him feel feelings and cry.
Yeah, I understand that scene was written at the behest of Nimoy because they had Spock sort of being affected and then getting kind of emotional.
But not to that degree? Or?
Right, and so he was like, this is a great opportunity to sort of explore him as a character and flesh that out.
His inner struggle is that it's not that he doesn't feel emotions, but that is tightly controlled.
Yeah, so he took that to Roddenberry and they wrote that scene in there so we get that insight into his character and like his.
Meanwhile, poor Kirk is the only one. Him and Scotty are like the only ones like running around trying to keep the ship together.
Yeah. Like, where's McCoy?
Yeah, we just lost him trying to go down to.
He's on the way to a lab. Yeah, for all we know, he's stuck on deck 12 with some crewmen blocking his way and singing at him.
Oh God! Well, there's McCoy. You love how... Are you laughing because McCoy's
Yeah.
face is really unmoved by Sulu screaming?
Right, he's screaming at the top of his lungs.
Just like...
And McCoy is just like...
Dude, hold your shit, man.
I think that's what I was going for.
Yeah. She's so pretty though, just stroking her face on against the wall. Oh, dang it!
Release him.
Yeah.
McCoy's in charge.
I love this though. I love this. What? Oh, Kirk and Spock scene. It's like, I don't give a shit. He's cramming so much backstory here.
Yeah.
It's hard to like gather it all. But... I'm
Shamed.
Oh, it's so deep.
I know.
Just smack him out of you.
Oh,
and over the table.
Yeah. As Kirk curls up in a fetal ball.
And oh no.
Calls him science officer.
They're all about to die, and he is
Yeah.
just running out of options.
He just backhands the
computer.
the intercom.
Oh, it's got him too now.
Oh no! He's infected!
He's fighting it! Oh. Takes and takes.
Oh, poor Kirk.
There's actually no braid on your shoulder, just on your sleeve. But, you know.
When he wears the wrap, it's on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, Spock's back in control now that Kirk was able to beat it back into him.
Yeah. Although Kirk got affected fairly quickly, too.
Well, but think about how much he's been running around, and he's sweating a lot, and so if it's like skin-to-skin contact and his heart's racing, it probably just like zip through his system. I'm like just trying to make it make sense.
Maybe he's just a real lightweight when it comes to alcohol.
Yes. But see, even though he's affected, he is like desperately trying to hold it together.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
That one scene like establishes like all this turmoil that Spock feels about like, well, one, you know, he has a human mother, and about like just what it must have been like for her to be on this planet.
Yeah.
People who are so rigid and showed no emotion.
And the fact that
he thinks his mom doesn't know that he loved her. And
the fact that Spock has these emotions, and even emotions that you'd be proud of, like the love you have for your friends, he feels deep, deep shame about.
Yeah. Which also establishes how, like, best buddies they are. He's like, the present for you, I am ashamed. Also, there was no reason to tear that shirt.
That was
and how
remarkably
strong is McCoy,
pointless.
or how flimsy are these
Well,
shirts?
Kirk tears a shirt every other episode, so I think the shirts must not be made that well.
I think it's amazing that of everyone, even though he loses a little bit, he pulls himself back in. He is like, no, I'm not going to be taken in by this random disease, and he holds it together long enough by the time McCoy can inject him with a serum.
Right. But
he beats it out of Spock, and Spock kind of gets it back under control, although he's still affected.
But it's a fascinating glimpse into...
both of them?
Into Kirk and what he feels like he is lost by being captain. Well,
that's why I'm always bothered by when people think he's a womanizer or stuff like that, because it's just the fact that he is not allowed a personal life.
Right.
His entire life...
Well, he's looking at her. And he
Don't
wants
touch
to
her,
touch
that's
her.
inappropriate!
But he can't. He can't. Look at that. It's all going. You read it all over his face.
It's so sad. And she's like, excuse me?
She's like,
Sweaty ass with what? Because
that was a beautiful scene.
He gave he's given his life away to the ship, and he loves the ship, and his ship, the Enterprise is everything.
Yeah, he clearly would never make a different choice given the chance.
Ever. The only time he chooses anything over the Enterprise is when he chooses Spock over the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, chooses Spock over the Enterprise, but. And he's tormented by that. Tormented by the fact that he can never be a normal man. Everyone else on the Enterprise is allowed to be a normal man, but the captain
cannot.
Is not allowed a personal life, is not allowed to feel... you can feel love, but you're not allowed to hold on to it. You're not allowed to have a relationship. Which clearly is very, very important to him. If he could do something else other than be a captain... And he obviously wants to, have a wife or something, have...
Mm-hmm.
But he's, basically a slave to the ship.
Yeah. It's a servitude he's chosen, but...
Doesn't mean he doesn't have regrets.
Right.
And he feels them very
And
strongly.
we never really see that side of him explored. We see Spock's turmoil with emotion explored, to some degree, fairly often.
There's one other episode
regularly.
where we see the turmoil of Kirk and the ship again. But I'll wait till we're there.
Okay.
Only because I can't remember the name of it at the moment.
Now, this whole solution to their problem is really weird. It's a really weird choice.
Oh! So this one they went back in time, right?
Right.
That's what just
It's okay, we went through all this crazy stuff, and...
This is the first time they play with Time Warp.
Right. And by a weird coincidence, it sent them back in time
exactly
a couple of days
before...
so this shit didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Which seems completely unnecessary.
And awesome.
Why throw in a huge, huge element into the universe like time travel?
Yeah.
Just to undo some events which, on the whole, aren't that impactful.
People died.
Yeah, so are they back? Are they back to life? It's really weird.
I don't know.
It's really weird that someone looked at this story and thought, this is so crazy.
You know what this needs is to go back in time.
This is so crazy that there's no way for them to really deal with this happening to them without just erasing it from existence.
But they all have remembered it.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't know what happened.
I know. It's just weird.
They're all aware of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah. It seems really pointless. It's not like, oh, we accidentally destroyed a planet, but now by going back in time, all those people are alive again.
Is the crew down on the surface still below?
Well, they were dead by the time they got down there anyway.
Okay. Then what is the point of going back in time in this episode?
Yeah.
I'm so confused. It wasn't like McCoy was like, hey, Tourmaline is back alive. Or...
Yeah.
So that's a little weird.
Yeah. So weird.
Never paid attention to how pointless going back in time was here.
And Spock establishes, and now we could travel back in time to any period.
They didn't know. I mean, it was only useful for the whales, but there's no reason for it in this episode.
I mean, there's a couple episodes where they choose to travel in time for one reason or another, but it just seems like such a weird thing to throw in right at the last second.
I feel like people always think this is like a silly episode because, I mean, most of us remember just Sulu running around half naked with his rapier, but I mean,
which is amazing.
It's amazing, but I feel like it's easy to forget or overlook like these really amazing establishing scenes, mainly with like Kirk and Spock and these little like insights into their personal character.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a great episode for character establishment. Right.
Because like we were saying before, you never get that deep a look into that aspect of Kirk's psyche. You know.
Yay!
So that was the Naked Time.
Naked Time.
That was a great episode. I love that one. So thanks for sticking it through with us. And aww. The Blu-ray that we're watching has dedicated this episode to Majel Roddenberry,
who is amazing.
And so, yeah. All right. Well, join us next time. We'll watch another episode, and we've got 75 left to go. Right?
Yeah. Next up is Enemy Within.
Is that the next one?
I think it is.
I think you could be right.
I
don't remember.
I think it is.
All right. We'll see.
All right. Till next time.
Till next time.